Hi there, this is Milan of So Natural Wellness, and today's video is Value the Gift of Life. Now the reason I'm doing this video is because, well, this whole month has been a video series broadcast that I've been doing entitled Healthy Living 50 and Beyond. But today something happened, so I really wanted to deviate for a moment because it really is connected. It's about well-being and being and your wellness. So I was in the grocery store. Actually, I guess you can call it a grocery. I was in Target and just browsing. I haven't been in there in such a long time, so I was really just browsing. And as I was in there, there's this man. He just went crazy and started. He was running through the store. Actually, he was running in my direction, which I didn't really know what was going on. I sort of froze, which is probably the wrong thing to do when someone is running in your direction. But I wasn't exactly sure what his objectives were. So I froze. But there were other people chasing after him. So then I realized, okay, they have it under control. So he was running in the store, and he ran past me and started just taking things and throwing them off the shelves and just, running down the aisles and tossing things away. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So as he's running behind some of the aisles, I hear him saying, leave me alone and I don't need this. And so I don't know if he was upset. I don't know if he was off medication, which he was a pretty young guy, about maybe in his, I guess, 30s or so, but he was tall, so that could give way to why I'm not really sure how old he was. And so I thought to myself, okay, he's probably off his medication. Well, this is why you should value the gifts of life. So the minute I realized something wasn't right and I saw his behavior, I did freeze momentarily, but after that I found myself, I had to go find my friend first. And once I found my friend upstairs, I was like, all right, let's stay up here until we know for certain that downstairs is under control, and then we'll leave the store. So we stayed up there, but they got it under control. The police came and they picked him up. And just within that split second, I realized the gift of life. And to really value it, because just within a second, your life can be going almost perfect, I guess you can say, to a degree that nothing's wrong, everything is fine. And within a split second, your life can change before your face. It can change right before your very eyes. So there's a lot going on in the world today. California, there's the fires, and some areas have flooding. And there's so many other disasters going on around the world that I don't know about, or that I haven't heard on the news just yet. Not to mention, just be really careful this time of the year, because there are a lot of people who are feeling anxious and feeling stressed for whatever reason. Sometimes it could be financial, it could be family related or family, whatever. People are very anxious, and we're living in really perilous times. So just really be careful and watch your surroundings wherever you go. Even if you think the area may be safe for you. I was walking up behind a friend of mine, and she had her cell phone to her ear, and she didn't even know I was behind her. And as soon as I walked up quick behind her, she turned around. Just really be conscious of your environment where you are. I live in a big city. It's an urban city, Chicago. So of course, you hear about a lot more things, but it's not as bad as the media makes it to be, but it is a big city. So, but I'm always careful. Even when I'm in a suburb or if I'm in a small town, I'm just really always careful about my surroundings, where I am at all time, and who's in my close proximity. So just really be careful wherever you are, wherever you're doing, and wherever you go. Just always be careful. Your life is precious, and I just want to make sure that you're okay. So in today's video, now that I've got that out of the way, I want to share something with you, because usually on Friday I do sometimes a foodie Friday, and I haven't did them in a while, so I wanted to do something today. And what I'm doing today, let's see if I can bring you down a little to watch me. So what I'm doing today was something I haven't did in a while, only because I have a taste for this. So I shouldn't say a taste. I just want this. Right now I want this. And I feel if you're eating like 80 to 85% well, then you're allowed certain indulgences that you think are forbidden. So this is an indulgence that I'm allowing myself today, and I found that I make the best hot chocolate. And I've been to different places and cafes, and I just find I make really good hot chocolate. So I'm making a really simple one today, because this is what I have in my refrigerator. So I have some rice milk. You can use whatever dairy you choose. I choose rice milk because some of the others, number one, I don't drink cow's milk unless I'm doing, actually I will do my whipped cream with cow's milk, but in terms of like just drinking it, I don't drink cow's milk. So I'm using rice milk, so it's going to be a little bit thinner, my hot chocolate. If you like almond milk, you can do almond milk. You can do coconut milk for additional flavor. Because I'm putting sugar in it, which is my dark chocolate. See, this is really intense dark chocolate. So sometimes I'll buy a Ghirardelli's hot chocolate or some other brand, but it's always a really high flavored chocolate. And sometimes they'll have like sea salt mixture in it, or some sort of a smoky flavor to it. So I love those, because I just love different flavors put into whatever I'm making. So with my hot chocolate, I'm going to turn my stove on, and so the amount of liquid that I put into my cup is always basically what I want to drink. So I would like to drink today this much, so I'm putting this much dairy in my cup, my glass. So once it starts to boil, I'm going to turn my heat up a little hot. Once it starts to boil and get hot, then I'm going to add my chocolate. And I usually just take pieces at a time, just squares, and put it in, and then just whisk until it breaks apart and melts. And then I put it in my glass. But it's another step that I want to show you. And I also make my own whipped cream. I feel that my hot chocolate is most flavorful with whipped cream. So I make my own whipped cream. I know there's a little advantage I have. I have a culinary background, but I make my whipped cream, and it's so easy to do. And if you like whipped cream, then I highly suggest not purchasing the store-bought. Just do it yourself. It's super easy to do. If you have a mixer, or if you don't have a mixer and you have a whisk, a big whisk, you can put your heavy cream. Like I said, I don't drink milk, but I will make my I will do a sauce, or maybe I'll do a heavy my whipped cream with this. So this is heavy whipping cream. So what I usually do, this is heavy whipping cream. So what I usually do is I'll put my heavy whipping cream in a bowl, and maybe a pinch of sugar, and just whisk. This will challenge your muscles. So if you're weak, this is not going to work for you. But if not, you will be sore afterward, I guarantee. So I whisk away until I get the consistency of whipped cream. If you don't want to do it this way, this is what's called the old-fashioned way in culinary school. This is what we used when we did our whipped cream. So you don't have to use a mixer. If you want to try it and do it by hand, just do it by hand. Just at least try it for yourself. But if not, then definitely use a mixer. So now that it's not warm enough yet. It's cold. It is getting hot. So once it gets hot to where I want it, let's see what else How close can I bring you without dropping my phone? Okay. All right, so there we go. Okay, perfect. So, look at that. Now my head is cut off. You can't see me. Okay. So I'm going to whisk this chocolate. Now that, see, now it's boiling. You may even be able to see some, yes, perfect, there's steam. Excellent, this is exactly what I want to see. So now that I have my steam going, which means it's hot, I'm going to take, and it's really going to cool off fast, especially after I put the chocolate in. I'm just going to start with little pieces at a time. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want to boil anything. So once your dairy is at a nice hot temperature, then you can put your chocolate pieces in, and I'm just going to whisk it. I'm making this video in particular because actually someone asked me how to make hot chocolate from scratch. So I wish you were here and you could smell this. This smells so delicious. And with the whipped cream, the creaminess, oh my goodness, I just love this so much. Oh, it smells so good. Oh, so I'm just whisking this, and my chocolate has melted, as you can see. Okay. If you can't, you just have to take my word that it has melted. So now that it's melted, what I like to do is get a little taste first. Whenever you're making anything, cooking or making something to drink, always do taste tests, because you want to make sure that it tastes really good before you finish your final product. So I'm going to do my taste test right now. And what I'm finding is very chocolate forward. So what I want to do is add a little salt for flavor. I was thinking I should have put it in the bottom of my cup. It would have been like Starbucks. You know, they do the salted mocha something. So it would have been just like that. So I've added my salt, and if you want, you can put your salt at the bottom of your cup. That would be just as good. So I'm going to taste it again because I'm looking for a certain flavor. And I hope you heard me slurp that because it was so good. So I need a little more salt, just a little. And now it's perfect. So I'm going to pour my chocolate in my glass. Even when you put a certain amount, actually, I'm going to put it back in there because I want to see if I can get sort of a froth going. And if I whisk a little faster, maybe I can, maybe I can't, but we'll see. Maybe it'll do what I want it to do, maybe it won't, but it's, you know, you try it. You just try it, because you never know unless you try. And it comes with food. You never know what something's going to taste like unless you try it. So when it comes to, it's beautiful. I have a little froth. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this. It really doesn't take much to get me excited, especially when it comes to food. So next step, I'm going to put in my whipped cream. And I like whipped cream, so I'm going to put in a little more, enough for me. I have another idea what I'm going to do with this. Okay, that's enough. I really wanted it to float on top. If you make enough whipped cream, you can put it in a container and keep it in your refrigerator until you're ready for it. And it should last you for maybe several weeks, maybe 2, maybe a little bit longer. So this is like the starting. Presentation means everything, so we're gonna push that down there. So this is the starting of my beautiful hot chocolate. And next thing I'm going to do is I want to give this some texture and a little flavor. So yes, I have it. So these are toasted coconut flakes that I have. So I'm going to take this and put it on top. It's almost going to have that sort of a pralines, coconutty flavor. It reminds me of a candy bar years ago I used to eat when I was younger called a Heath bar. It's an American thing. So if you're watching this from another country, then you don't know what I'm talking about, but maybe you do. I don't know. So now I'm going to add pieces of diced chocolate on top of that, just to give it a nice, pretty look. It's crushed chocolate, actually. So this is it. How about that? Let me let you see it. So this is my hot chocolate, how I usually make my hot chocolate. And times are not as safe as they used to be in life. Anything can happen at any given moment. Unforeseen occurrences befall us all. So just really be careful this season. And while you're being careful, enjoy life. Enjoy goodness. Until our next time together, stay beautiful and healthy.